This is for a 2008 or similar year Hyundai Elantra. I'm going to be changing out the spark plugs and the wire inset that goes on top of the spark plugs. And you can do this with pretty much any car. Just make sure you have access to the wires and they're not behind the engine block or something like that. So, today is November 2nd, 2013. My car has been off for like an hour to let it cool down. I'm going to be taking off this protective cover with a 10 millimeter bolt here, 10 millimeter bolt here. The engine's actually still pretty hot, but I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit more with the hood up. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be replacing these four spark plug wires here that attach to the top of each spark plug under here. I'm also going to replace the spark plugs themselves. So let's get this going here. When working on a car or around a house or anything metal or wood, always try to get a good pair of gloves. These have some rubber protective here. These are by Mechanics. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ratchet socket here, lefty loosey, remove this 10 millimeter bolt here. And I'm going to put it on the ground on the right side of the visible line on the ground. And I'm going to put this one on the left side of the visible line on the ground. Because you don't want to mix these up. Yes, they're the same bolt, but one might be microscopically threaded differently than the other one. So, my ratchet set has a double set, a big guy and a little guy. So I'm able to turn it like that. You might not be able to. So spark plugs cost about under $10 each. And I have a 4-cylinder car here, so it's going to cost me basically under $40 for spark plugs. Here we have four wires, 1, 2, 3, 4, and right here you can't see it, but there's a block called a distribution block, or distribution cap, and there's numbers on the block, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4. The wires say 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 3, 4 goes to 4. The number 4 wire goes to the number 4 spot on the distribution block. It's that simple. Now I don't need any more tools from here on out until I take the spark plugs out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to remove these OEM Nissan spark plug wires. So to do that, I'm going to remove the wires from the distribution cap first. And to do that, I'm going to need to see the numbers. 1, they're in white. Here, 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 and here. I'm going to roll the rubber up over itself like this. This will give it less surface tension, so I can pop them off easily. So one hand is going to be rolling it up. The other, oh, it popped right off. Never mind. And if you roll them up, sometimes they pop right off. Other times you need the other hand to help shimmy them off. And basically, it's a little metal circle. And it goes over, it pops into a little hole here. I'll do it with this one. Now my car's off, the engine's cold. They pop off like that, really easy, right? Don't ruin these, because you might need them in case you have to put them back on to get back to the store if you bought the wrong set of spark plugs or wire set or something. Alright, so I'm pulling the wires out of the retaining clips. The retaining clips keep the wires off of the hot engine so they don't melt and cause the bare wire to touch the bare metal, block and short circuit your whole entire system, which will cost a fortune to replace. So, to get these out, just pull up. They'll pop out. There we go. That's what they look like. This whole thing is called the boot, B-O-O-T. And that's it. That's one of them. Now I'm going to do one at a time. Okay. Why? Because that's how I grew up doing these. So that's number 1 here, and on here it has a number 1, and on the distribution cap it says number 1. Actually, you should not pull them all off at the same time for a distribution block, but mine are numbered on the block, so I'm not going to worry about that. Plus, when I take the new ones out of the box, you'll see that they're all cut with a different length. If I hold all these these are all the boots. If I hold them all the same length, each wire is a different length to correspond with the distance between the distribution block and the spark plug holes. So I'm going to undo this lovely cable here, and I'm not going to put these on yet. Let's talk about the spark plugs. To get the spark plugs out, you're going to get a special spark plug socket. This fits exactly my spark plugs. My spark plugs are 16mm spark plugs, or 5/8 inch spark plugs. Spark plug socket is deep, and it has a hole in the back to allow the spark plug to go through. Also has a rubber grommet in there, rubber washer, to grab the spark plug so you don't drop it, and you can also pull the old one out. This is the extension piece. There's $1, $2. Try to use a high quality one with a very good tension ball. One that doesn't come off this easily, because this will get stuck inside of here on the spark plug, and it's a pain in the butt to get it out. So use a high quality set so this doesn't detach as easily as this. So invest in, I haven't done so yet, but invest in a Craftsman set, mechanic set. It costs you like $150 around about, but lasts your whole entire life. What you want to do is you want to pop this in like that, and you want to press down, and it will click maybe once or twice. The clicking noise is the rubber grommet grabbing the back of the spark plug, and you wiggle it left, or you twist it left to right until it locks on to the actual sides of the spark plug wall, the nut that's built into the spark plug. And now it's not moved left to right; it's down all the way. Now I can take this guy, make sure lefty-loosey's turned on, pop it on, take it off. It might feel like it's grinding or something like that, but that's just the rust breaking up in the threads down there. And then when you pull, and I already changed my spark plugs out earlier, but when you pull up, you see I lost the socket. And I'm going to have to put it back down and try to finagle it out. This can take a while. There we go, I got it back out. And then you will pull out the old spark plug. And if you look at the old spark plug, it's going to be, maybe the threads will be brown and rusty, and the electrode gap between the two little pieces of metal at the end of the spark plug will be maybe all white with a big spot of blackness. That basically prevents the electricity from going into the metal, which can decrease the spark, which will decrease your horsepower, decrease your fuel miles per gallon, etc. And they're cheap. They're less than $10 per spark plug. I got mine for $8 a pop. I used a company called NGK. Another good company is Bosch, and the other good company is Autolite. Go with one of those three companies, you're doing great. Don't go for the cheapy ones. Make sure that if your manual or online material says to use iridium spark plugs, make sure you use iridium. If they say use platinum, make sure you use platinum. If they say copper, you probably can't really hold a car. That's very important for that. Alright, so after I move the old one, I'm going to take the new spark plug, I'm going to pop it in here, I'm going to put it in here, straight down, and I'm going to hand tighten it all the way with my hands. Once I can't hand tighten it anymore, I'm going to take this, put it on. Now I already installed my new one today, and I'm going to turn it exactly what the box says. My spark plug, the little boxes that the spark plugs came in, said to turn it half a turn. So I'm going to line it up with my block here. So I put it on, line it up, and I'm going to turn half a time. And I'm going to stabilize it with my other hand. I don't want it to wiggle around. I want it to be up and down vertical perfectly. I'm going to turn it to the left. it's going to get harder and harder and harder, and finally it's going to stop at half a turn. Okay? If you stop right around half a turn, you're good. And you're going to do that for each of the 4. That's it. To put the new spark plug wiring set on, you want to make sure these are dry. You don't want to be working outside in the humidity. I'm going to find, the spark plug wire I took off was number 1, as I told you before. So I'm going to find number 1 in this series of 4 wires. And this is, let's see, where's the number at in this? This one does not have numbers on it, because this is Autolite. I know that the NGK wires have numbers on them. Anyway, this is why you got to do one at a time. So I'm going to take the old one and the new one, and if you look, they're basically exactly the same. Same length, same everything. That's good. That means this is the right ones. We'll see if there's right length. They're a little bit longer. Is there any longer ones in here? Let's find the longest one in this set. These are all these are all the new ones here. These are all the new ones. I'm going to hold them. I'm going to hold them all by the same length. Okay. Now they're all going to be different lengths. This is the longest one. This is the one I want. Okay. I'm going to put these ones to the side. Make sure you're very delicate with the end of the spark plug, which has a little gap where electricity shoots across, because that gap should be checked by the cashier when you check out with a spark plug gap checker to make sure that they are the correct gap. 0.44 millimeter was the gap for my specific NGK spark plugs that I bought. Some companies have different gap requirements. Have the cashier check them before you buy them, and be careful when you're working with them, because if you bump them, it might cause a spark to be too little or too less. So be gentle with them, okay? That's all I ask. So I'm going to put the new spark plug wire boot right down in there. But before I press down, I want to show you something on the 2008 Hyundai Elantra. There's a little arrow here, and there's an arrow here, and there's an arrow here, and there's an arrow here. That's where the wires go. Wire shoots up over that arrow, wire over that arrow, wire over that arrow, and wire over that arrow. That tells you where that you should be feeding the wire through the retaining clips, and out this way. Okay. So I'm going to line up the wire. I'm going to gently, very gently, put this down in there. I've lost my spark plug wire. All right, that's the old one. I leave it on the ground. Oh, do you know what's down there? The socket fell off. Let's try to get that guy out. This is why you gotta have a good set of sockets. While I'm in here, I'm going to make sure it's tight. Yes, that's tight. Can I get my socket back, please? I'm just wiggling it, trying to get it back out. Come on, buddy. Get out of there. Don't worry, I won't be doing this for the other ones, because I'm not going to show you how to change the other 3, because they're all exactly the same method. Alright, I'm going to pause this video if this doesn't come out. Yeah, I'm going to pause the video and get it out and start it back up. Okay, I got it out. I don't need this right now. I'll put it on the ground. Right now, this should just plop right in. See? I'll line up with the arrow, and then press down, and then you'll feel or hear a click. That means that the metal grabber grabbed around the top of the spark plug. And I'm going to press the wires into the retaining clips, because these keep the wires off of the top of the engine block to prevent heat from melting them. This is number 1, so I'm going to put this on number 1 of my cap. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 1. This one on the end here. And that just goes right on down. And actually, let me show you that. Okay, so I put it down in there, line up with the arrow, put it through the retaining clips. And on the side, it says, in white, it says, I forget, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm gonna put that right in there. And press down, that's it. That's how you put wires on. So, let's see how fast I'm gonna do this. Ready? Alright, I'm gonna do the next one here. This is number 2. It's the second longest. If I grab my other ones over here, my new ones, the next longest one in this crew is this one here. That's what I want. That's a new one. Old one comes out. Put it on the ground. I'll save them for later because I need them in the future. Line the wire up with the arrow. And then I press down. Keep these off of your engine block, anything metal, because if your engine's warm or hot, you're going to have a bad day and have a large bill. Put these into the retaining clips. And this is number, what number did I pull out? Let me grab the old one. That was number 2. It says it right there, number 2. So I'll put this on distribution cap number 2, which is this one here. It clicks right on. Alright, next one. Let's pull up, pops out, old one. Grab the new set. I want the one that is basically longer, so it's this one here. Take the old one, put it on the ground. This is number 3. Put number 3 down in there, line up with the arrow, press down till it clicks. There, I heard it and I felt it click. Put it in the retaining clips and put it on number, what number was that? Number 3. So I'm going to put it on the one with the number 3 on it and press down. Okay, the last one is here. Pull up. This is on it. It says number 4, and the only empty spot in the distribution block is number 4. Old one comes off, puts it on the ground, save it for later because I need it now or in the future. Put the number 4 in, line it up with the arrow. Gently, work gently with this stuff. Press down. Felt it and heard it click. Put it in retaining clips. Put it on the distribution block. Line it up. Press down till you feel it or hear it click. Now I'm going to double check all these boots on the distribution block. Make sure they're down all the way. Yes, they're down all the way. All the wires. Okay. All the wires are in their distribution and in the retaining clip areas, except for this one. This one came out. Let me line it up down there. Put it there. Alright, so they're all in. Alright, so I'm done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all my tools, get them out of the way. You don't want to close your hood on tools. Alright, do you see any tools? Am I clear? Everything good? Good. Now I'm going to put the cover back on. I'm going to put the 2 bolts back in, tighten them up taut, and I'm done. That's it. So this job cost me a total of basically $90 to $100. $90 to $100 using good quality parts. And if you go to your mechanic, they're going to charge you, or your dealership, they're going to charge you, instead of 80 or 90 or 100, they're going to charge you $200, $230, $250. Now, your cost might be a couple dollars more if you have 6 cylinders. I have 4 cylinders in this. Okay? So keep that in mind. So you're going to have $10 extra per cylinder for spark plugs. or $16 to $20 total, $8 to $10 per spark plug. And then the wire inset is going to cost you like maybe $10 or $20 more as well, because they're going to have 2 extra wires on there if you're having a 6-cylinder. But that's easy. This video took 20 minutes to do. This is my first time ever changing them out. This will probably take you 10 extra minutes because I didn't show you changing the spark plugs, but I explained it to you. If you want a more in-depth understanding of how to take spark plugs out, you can just go on YouTube and Google spark plug change, and you'll see that it's really, really simple. Let's see, any tips I can give you? Tip number 1, make sure you have high quality tools. Tip number 2, take your time. Tip 3, when you're taking the spark plugs in and out, make sure you keep the shaft of the spark plug the shaft of the socket set. Make sure it stays vertical in the spark plug hole. Don't let it fall left or right when you're unscrewing or screwing in. And when you're doing that final tighten, make sure you finally tighten it with your hands. Then get your socket set, your ratchet, pop it on top of here, and then do that half turn wrenching down. Okay. Now read the box. It could be 2/3 of a turn. It could be 1/4 of a turn. Mine said half a turn to 2/3 of a turn. And I did that for each one, and I made sure that this was vertical. So I put my 2 fingers on each side on top of the engine block to make sure it doesn't move left, right, forward, or backwards, and make sure it stays straight, because you can break the delicacy of spark plugs, because they're made of just ceramic, which, that's what cups are made out of in your pantry. What else can I let you know about? Make sure you're using high quality tools, because this little button here, see a little ball? That ball has a spring behind it, and if that has a crappy spring, which this does, because this was $1 and this was $2, that ball doesn't have enough doesn't have enough tension on it, so this pops right off. I can undo it with one hand. That's pretty bad. That's why this kept on getting stuck in the spark plug cylinder, and that's because it has a rubber boot inside. That rubber boot grabs the top of the spark plug, so you can get spark plug in and out without needing a really long pair of needle nose pliers. Yeah, spending money on high quality tools will last you your whole entire life. Go with Craftsman or another good company. I don't know any other companies, but that's one I grew up with. Keep your parts in order. As you can see, I put the left bolt on the left and the right bolt on the right, and that's for. I'm going to finish it up after the video, but that goes to the left, that goes on the right. Yes, they're the same bolt, but one might be micro threaded differently, which can tear up these threads or tear up the threads that they're going to go into on top of the engine block. I don't want to deal with that. Also, keep your old parts, keep them in the bag, because you never know. One day, someone might have a pair of bad wires on their car. They might have the Hyundai Elantra 2008 like you, or a 07 or 06 or 09 or whatever, and they can say, "Hey, I got an old pair of plugs. They were not broken. I just hit 60,000 miles and I wanted to change mine. Here, have them free. Actually, I'll change them for you in 30 minutes flat. Actually, I'm not doing spark plugs for you. I'm just doing your wire, so I'll change them in 10 minutes flat." So you help someone out. Also, keep them in good shape, because if you happen to buy the wrong pair of wires, you can go back to the store by popping your old wires on, return these ones, get the new ones, come home and finish the job up. Other tips I can give you: do one at a time. So take this off. Well, actually, take the plate off. Let me put my tools down. When you're changing out spark plugs and wires, you might as well do the spark plugs and wires together at the same time. Every 60,000 miles is basically what you need to do. So when you start the first one, you're going to pop off this boot, follow the wire down. It's the first one, pop that off. Take the old spark plug out, put a new spark plug in, put the new wire on, pop down the new wire, then go to the next one. Okay? And that's basically all the tips you really need to do this job. Again, the 2 bolts on top for the Hyundai Elantra 2008 is 10mm. The spark plug socket I used was a 16mm, also known as a 5/8 inch. It says SP on it for spark plug. Not all of them do have SP, but you know it's spark plug because it has a rubber grommet inside. And that wraps it up. Again, you can do this for possibly, you can do this for all cars. For the Hyundai Elantra series and most imported cars, they're right on top, easy to get to. I have read or saw that some Nissans, you have to like remove the air box in order to get some of the spark plugs which are on the back of the engine block or something like that, because it's like a 6-cylinder. I don't know. But if they're easy, if all of them are right on top, just do it yourself. You can save yourself, you know, half the cost of then going to a car dealership. And with that said, if you have any questions, please write them below. I'll try to help you out. Please like this video because, you know, I put 25 minutes of my time into it for you. And my objective is to save you time and money in your life with all my videos. Check out my other videos while you're at it. I got electronic reviews, tips about computers, tips about foreign language, learning foreign languages. I got all kinds of cool videos. If I can save you money and time, I'm happy. Like this video, subscribe if you wish, share my video with other people. Share this with all of your friends and family. Share it all over Facebook. Show people that they can do the job themselves and save themselves a lot of money. Okay, and this time of this economy, we got to save some money. All right. So with that said, I wish you luck. It's a piece of cake. Just take your time. Make sure you have all the parts ready before you start it, because if your car's half apart, you're gonna need a friend to use their car to get to the store and buy the parts you need. But just write down the tool list I recommended. Here's the ratchet set I have. That's where I got my 10mm socket from. I always recommend a good pair of gloves. These are mechanics with an X. These have a rubber backing on them, so if I bang it against the engine block, I don't feel a thing, okay? So if I accidentally slip with the socket, I won't rip my skin off my body. These are great for any type of work you're doing around the house or cars, electronics, etc. Alright, so protect your hands, protect your car, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.